I can help you out right here.
I feel like it's fun-loving. I feel like it's a flip-flop place. Sentimental.
And anything else?
Busy.
Refreshing.
And did y'all want any toppings or anything?
Delicious and unique.
Tell me the history of this place and who started it.
Well, my grandparents started the business in 1934. My grandfather invented his first electric ice shaving machine. He was a machinist during the Depression and World War II, and he would work in the hulls of the ships and in the machine shops that line the Mississippi River. When my uncle was born, and as a young child, he wanted a snowball. At the time, all they would have is these push carts that would come around like a lucky dog vendor, and my uncle wanted a snowball, so the man would come around with the block of ice and a kitchen door planer, planing the snow into these cardboard trays. And my grandfather was watching this, and the man's hands were dirty and the snow was coming out filthy. And he looked at that, and he looked at his son, and he said, I think I can build something better. So he went to work using spare parts and piecing together his prototype. Once they figured out it was going to work and work fairly well, he started the larger model, which is seated here on the counter. This one was made in 1939, and it's completely cast. My grandfather was a master machinist, and he could do anything. He could fix anything. He always said he could fix anything except a broken heart and the break of day. My grandfather kind of made it for the family.
Here you go.
This became her business. So we've been woman-owned for 85 years. He was devoted to my grandmother. They met on the sidewalk in the Irish Channel. He was bringing his mother to a novena at St. Mary's or St. Alphonsus Church. And he saw my grandmother sitting there on the stoop, and he jumped out of the car with his mother sitting right there and said, "You're the woman I'm going to marry." And she was certainly shocked by that, and she said, "Well, go get away from here. I'm going to call my father." And then he returned every day after to court her. They laughed a lot. They really enjoyed each other, and they really enjoyed life. You know, they have my uncle, and my grandfather has made this machine. And my grandmother has started putting it on the banquet outside the house on St. Anne Street. This is in Bayou St. John neighborhood. Her motto becomes, there are no shortcuts to quality, because she was making her syrups fresh every day, and she would only give her customers what she would love to eat.
Uptown fancy. We uptown, and the best flavors here are the fancy flavors. So, uptown fancy.
You know better than that?
This is my favorite Shogun place ever.
She instantly knew that it was too good to leave at home. At different points, they would work off of their front porch or off the banquet, or they rented a storefront on Valmont Street. And then when they were able to buy, with the help of her family, they bought this property in probably the mid-40s. In the 1970s, they served people side by side. They would open up every summer. It kind of became like they open when they get here and close when they left. My uncle became a doctor, and my dad became a lawyer and then a judge. They had careers, and they really weren't allowed to work here more than like making a few snowballs and putting out the trash. I started helping them in the early 90s. This became my summer job, and my sister would help out too. But I had the temperament for my grandparents. I kind of went with the game plan, I went with the flow, and we really enjoyed each other's company.
You really forget like how lucky you are to have things like snowballs here.
We were just driving around today. We found this place in a line out front, and seeing it said 85 years in business, that's a long time to be, for a snow company to be in business. It's amazing.
I mean, I think it's awesome that this many people can come here for the past 85 years. I mean, you see everyone, young, old, doesn't matter where they're from. If you want a good snowball, you come here. I just think that it's a great representation of NOLA and just the family environment, how everyone kind of leans on each other's backs.
I think that's one reason why multi-generational businesses don't work very, very often, is because everyone has an idea of how they would do it. And my idea was being with them. Like, my idea was the original vision.
It kind of went straight from your grandparents to you.
Yes. And so I opened the next fall because I needed to open. I needed to do it for the city. I needed to do it for New Orleans, for our customers and our families that were coming home. But really, selfishly, I needed to do it for me because I think this is the happiest place on earth.
I think that's amazing to last this long through everything, hurricanes, pandemic. We go through so much in New Orleans, and to be able to still say 85 years later, you're still standing with good food, good snowballs. I mean, the best snowballs in New Orleans.
They always wanted to connect with other people, you know, and I think Snowballs and Flavors is a good place to start.
People come here, you see smiles on their faces, you see the little kids grinning, especially when it gets warm in the summer. You just can't beat it.
I mean, I dream to be here as long as my grandparents were. So if I get to live to be 95, still stirring a pot of syrup and shaving snow for people of all ages, then I think I would be a very happy person.
It's so hot and I made a snowball.
I'm a business owner. I've been in business 21 years. I couldn't even imagine 85 years of passing it down through generation to generation. Hopefully I can. We'll see. But 85 years is a long time to be in business.
I would love that if my kids, or at least one of my kids, would love to do this. I think they're both interested right now, so we'll see.
We sometimes pour syrup up here, but I like washing bottles a lot.
Once the snowball stand opens, we'll help serve the customers. I'm gonna do the 6 city in my cup. It's fun to work here, and we get free snowballs. A lot of times we get like, you've grown up so fast and we've known you since you were a baby and now you're working at the snowball stand.
To see all of our customers come in is like a moment in time where it's very much like a melting snowball, because snowballs don't last forever, and the minute we make it and the snow goes in the cup is the minute it starts melting. And I think, you know, it's really nice to be mindful of the present moment and the moments we all get to share together.